At the beginning of May, I left my new base camp in southeast Michigan and headed toward the Lake Michigan shoreline with no timeline and no rush to be anywhere. I was just camping, hiking, and exploring the shores. But the road has a funny way of calling you. After finding mice in the front of my truck, I took that as a sign that it was time for me to pack up and move on. That kicked off a spontaneous run down the Illinois stretch of Route 66. Along the way, I spent a few nights at an old drive-in movie theater, caught up with a former co-worker, and ended the month scrambling to plug a leaking tire in a baseball stadium parking lot. It was an exciting adventure, but it was also a double-edged sword while trying to stay on track toward hitting my $24,000 budget for the year. Heading into May, my year-to-date spending was sitting at $7,907.55. But with all the curveballs thrown our way, did we manage to stay on track? Or did the budget go off the rails? Let's find out. Whether I'm plugging a tire or evicting mice, one thing never stops. I still have to keep my belly full. And when you're going from a quiet lakeshore to cruising down Route 66, your eating habits can change fast. Let's dive into our first category, food and groceries, which came in at $612.68. After tracking my expenses in detail for the past 5 months, I've come to realize that the $600 range is pretty much my baseline for this category based on my lifestyle. I know it's going to be somewhere in this neighborhood every month, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, and that's fine by me. I didn't walk away from a 30-year career to hit the road full-time only to live like I did in college. I'm out here to experience the places I'm exploring, not just to simply exist. Because to me, this lifestyle is about freedom, not restriction. Now moving on to the next category. Transportation came in at $549.02. Charging the truck was the largest expense of this category, as we covered about 1,000 miles this month. I also had my auto and RV insurance premiums due, and if you watch my April video, you'll remember that May was the first month where the new monthly payment plan of approximately $250 would kick in. With transportation out of the way, the next category is connectivity, which came in flat like it has all year at $165 for my Starlink service. As I mentioned in the last video, it'll stay that way until July when my annual Mint Mobile plan expires. But there's going to be some interesting decisions to be made in this category in the near future, as Starlink is raising the rate for the Roam Unlimited plan, but they are now also offering a 300 gig plan for $80. Before we move on to the next category, if you're thinking of signing up for Starlink, I put a referral link in the description that gives us both a free month of service, and it's truly a win-win if you want to try it out. Moving right along to health and wellness. This category came in at a crazy low $4.53, which is by far the lowest it's been this year. Obviously, that number is not normal. When I set up my new Michigan Marketplace insurance, they required the first premium up front back in April. Because of that, I actually had no premium due during the month of May. The regular billing cycle will hit on the 2nd of the month starting in June. So for May, I basically got a free month, leaving just a few dollars for a prescription copay. Next up is subscriptions, which came in at $74.96. An increase of $20 from April. The main change this month is I added a CapCut Pro subscription that I'm testing out to see if it helps me produce higher quality videos faster. I really don't like adding recurring monthly costs, so I'm going to evaluate how it performs over the next few months before deciding if it stays in the budget long term. The next category is camping, which came in at $254.15. Now, this is the most I've spent on camping in any month this year, and a good portion of that came from the $125 I spent on a Harvest Host All Access membership that I grabbed during a 30% off sale over Memorial Day weekend. I bought the membership to open up more camping options for my East Coast adventures that are upcoming this summer, since finding spots out there can be difficult. Now, I have to mention that the membership already paid for itself in experiences. I stayed at a drive-in movie theater off of Route 66, where I had the place to myself until movie night came, and I also camped at a baseball stadium near St. Louis. Finally, we have the miscellaneous category, which came in at $245.78. Because I spent a good portion of May in northern Michigan, propane was once again a factor for most of the month. I also bought a birthday gift for my son, got myself a new pair of camp sandals, and also picked up some souvenirs as I roamed down Route 66 through the state of Illinois. Now for the scoreboard. My total spend for May was $1,906.12. which brings my year-to-date total to $9,813.67. To hit my $24,000 annual challenge, I obviously need to maintain $2,000 per month average, and after 5 months, my monthly average is sitting at $1,962.73, which places me just under the target average by about $37 a month. Now, I'll take that as a win for a month with 1,000 miles of towing and a spontaneous Route 66 adventure. It's a perfect reminder of why I walked away from the corporate world and chose nomad life in the first place. We are nearly halfway through the year, and this challenge is coming down to the wire. The numbers are really close, and the easy miles are officially over as June takes us further down Route 66 into Kansas, then back to St. Louis for my niece's wedding before Deuce roams hits the East Coast for the summer. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to see if we can keep the budget on track as we roam up the Atlantic coast to Maine for an epic 2026 summer adventure. And remember, as always, to roam free, explore more, and keep spreading those good vibes. Peace.